My dear Anne, I make no apology for my silence, because I know how little people think of letters in such a place as Bath. You must be a great deal too happy to care for Uppercross, which, as you well know, affords little to write about. We have had a very dull Christmas. Mr. and Mrs. Musgrove have not had one dinner party all the holidays, and I do not reckon the Hayters as anybody. The holidays, however, are over at last. I believe no children had ever had such long ones. I am sure I had not. The house was cleared yesterday, except for the little Harvilles. You'd be most surprised to hear that they have not gone home. Mrs. Harville must be an odd mother to part with them for so long. I do not understand it. They are not at all nice children, in my opinion. But Mrs. Musgrove seems to like them quite as well, if not better, than her own grandchildren. What dreadful weather we have had! It may not be felt in Bath, with your nice pavements, but in the country it is of some consequence. I have not had a creature call on me since the 2nd week of January, except for Charles Hayter, who's been calling more oftener than welcome. Between ourselves, I think it a great pity that Henrietta did not remain in Lyme as long as Louisa. It would have kept her a little out of his way. The carriage is gone today to bring Louisa and the Harvilles tomorrow, but we are not asked to dine with them, however, until the day after. Mrs. Musgrove is so afraid of her being fatigued by the journey, which is not very likely considering the care that will be taken care of her. Be much more convenient for me to dine with her tomorrow. I am glad you find Mr. Elliot so agreeable, and I wish I could be acquainted with him too. But I have my usual luck. I am always out of the way when anything desirable is going on, always the last in my family to be noticed. What an immense time Mrs. Clay has been staying with Elizabeth. Does she never mean to go away? But perhaps if she were to leave the room empty, we might be invited. Let me know what you think of this. I do not expect my children to be asked, you know. I can leave them at the great house very well for a month or 6 weeks. I have this moment heard that the Crofts are going to Bath almost immediately. They think the admirable Gauty. Charles heard it quite by chance. They have not the civility to give me any notice or offer to take anything. I do not think they improve at all as neighbors. We have seen nothing of them, and this is really an instance of gross inattention. Charles joins me in love and everything proper. Yours affectionately, Mary M.